What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. Simple, dear, I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn, your pawn, your pawn. My love I become a little too shy for love. I've been hurt before, all's fair in love and war. So I snuggle up close to the shell I'm living in, and if I let you in, another round begins. No, I'm spinning in a vicious cycle, I'm scared of doing something What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side. I need you by my side. I need you by my side. Something's wrong, I feel it circling like vultures around my brain. Couldn't see the danger in your eyes. Draw me in, got me spinning now like water to a drain. You were perfect till I realized you hadn't shown your face. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wrecking, you know it's wrong. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. It's over, same story. You lose to love and glory. Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break your keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality. In your room, a little hideaway, but you let it through. Enough to go insane, living in the dark hasn't treated you well. You're building your own prison cell. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Did I brush you off? Is it your lack of friends? We never met, even if you pretend. Am I in your debt? I don't owe you nothing. Don't say something you'll regret. Hey, wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Hate, rage, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it on me. Wait, don't waste it on me. Spite, life's telling you, don't waste it. I'm telling you, don't waste it. Life's telling you, don't waste it on me. I send flames, call my name. I freeze, I burn, I blame. I love, I hate the same. It's on my face, I cannot hide. 時来にいるこのどこには呼ぶ燃える裏めくると僕の愛時来にいる I love I hate this city Came up short today. Feels like I fell 1,000 times. Nothing but doubt to flood my mind. 'Cause sometimes it's hard to remember why I ever started racing with my dreams. A restless December, feeling I was meant for more than I believed. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I know as close as I am now, I will struggle, I will shout. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. There's no stopping, there's no doubt. I'm on my way. I swear I meant to do this. I'm told that love would never lie. Where my head has met my heart and they are beautifully aligned. But sometimes it's hard to remember everything I've done that's brought me to this space. I started with embers, now a raging fire is burning in its place. I'll never surrender, rather try and fail and fall 1,000,000 times.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down. Below me, bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. He took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack, then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, and still that whale did go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on. The line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular call to encourage the captain, crew and all. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face? But even living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape. Boku no mirai wa dare ni mo wakaru nai. 皆は What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let 'em burn it out. Sell 'em to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
support, believing in these younger
5
guys
seconds
helps
remaining.
out. But more than anything, I think maybe coming up
Dire
to the
team
lower
ban.
bracket was good for their confidence.
Did you know that Cheshire Cat, despite having played since like 2013, 2014 Power Rangers,
Radiant team ban.
this the first
Dire
season,
team's turn to
the
ban.
lower division, they won
Radiant team's turn to
$16,000
ban.
for his career is just $5,000, $6,000
Dire
cups
team's turn
that,
to pick.
you know, then broken down in 5
Radiant
players.
team's
He's only
turn
getting
to
a
pick.
grand out of. Like, he has
Enchantress.
not had a very, even though his very storied run, you can go back and look at all his teams. He's been playing for a while. He just hasn't had the most success, and this is the most success he's had in his entire career.
Absolutely, and I think if anything, that's just a
Radiant
testament
team's
to, you
turn to
know,
pick.
as many sort of complaints there may be for certain aspects of the DPC season, for those sort of tier 2 teams, tier 2 players, it makes a huge difference having this sort of sustainability
turn to
and
pick.
support for them. They're able to finally get a bit of a return for something, as you said, he's been doing for years, but just there haven't been those opportunities to succeed at this level and get rewarded for it.
The Dota, for better or worse, one of the most top-heavy esports, if not, it is the most top-heavy esport that
10
exists.
seconds remaining.
I think it's part of the reason we've seen a lot of the top teams also stabilize their
5 seconds
rosters.
left.
Just
Don't
a
freeze up.
survival mechanism, right? If you don't share this knowledge that players on your team accumulate, then how are you going to
Dire team's
compete?
turn to ban.
You know, take a guy like Pantomime going up against somebody like Puppy. It's a decade of experience and wisdom that he's had to, you know, he's got to just somehow replicate without actually having
Radiant
that time
team's turn to
spent.
ban.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about another guy who has a decade of experience. You saw him right next there to Ramses. Mag, their coach, been playing since Dota 1 days. I mean, it's hard for some of these young guys to be able to compete with people who have played at the top tier echelon of Dota for some of them for
seconds
years and
remaining.
years and years.
Years and years and years, indeed.
5 seconds remaining.
Na'Vi going to be opening with the Enchantress. Winstrike respond. Ancient Apparition Mars. Not a bad duo whatsoever. Kind of still leaves some flexibility to their off lane. Pick one side lane hero apiece.
Yes, I think it was Pantomime we were talking to last week. And I realized he's been playing Dota. He started really seriously playing Dota after I had already retired and started working on the desk.
Yeah.
And before that, I'd played 4 years of Dota and 4 years of Han. And so I'm thinking, wow, I'm so old. What have I done with my life?
team ban.
But on the other hand, it's pretty impressive. It's kind of
Radiant
crazy.
team
There's still
ban.
these new guys coming in. It takes some time to get here. But I think 1 to 2 years of just daily play is necessary before you can even think about being at a competitive level. Game's too goddamn hard, Cap.
Yeah. I do wonder how much the openness of the Dota scene spurred him
10
to
seconds remaining.
get into Dota, because his first matches that he ever played were
5
the
seconds
Manila
remaining.
qualifiers, Manila major qualifiers.
Dire team
That
ban.
was he didn't make it far. That was when
Yeah.
he was just starting out. And
No, that's
an open system like that, he does that a few more times, plays the Manila Major, TI, qualifiers, and then, at some point in time he says, all right, let's get serious about this.
yeah. I wonder sometimes, I miss the open qualifiers. I'm really
seconds
sad we
remaining.
won't have them this year. I wonder whether them being removed was just like a way to
5
force
seconds
top
remaining.
teams that maybe don't care about
Yes.
the measly prize pool just to have to play, because otherwise they would just wait for opens.
I mean, we don't know if there's not going to be some. We just assume, right?
No, we
I
know.
think
We know.
we know.
There are no opens.
There are
They
no
announced
opens.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, Valve said pretty
All right.
exclusively there is going to be one qualifier spot per region. You must be in the DPC to do so.
Yep.
So only upper and lower division teams will be able to play in those qualifiers.
That makes sense, as you said, for protecting the DPC system,
Yep.
giving it increased value.
It's also the first time that I can really think of in Dota's history where the strength of your region matters the most it's ever been, right? Because if your region does well at majors, they're getting more DPC points and they're automatically getting invited, and therefore that one slot, because before it was like the strength of your region, the number of slots in qualifiers was open.
Yeah.
So, maybe a Team Liquid or somebody doesn't get directly invited, but they would open up another qualifying slot, perhaps TI for that region.
What's weird about that, though, is it provides these weird incentives where I think it punishes
10
regions that are
seconds
more
remaining.
competitive. There's a scenario in Southeast in SA Dota
seconds
where
remaining.
Thunder Predator is like losing, right, to No Ping Esports to Beast Coast. No Ping have very small amount of points, So if they were to get first or second place points, let's say Thunder Predator only gets 50 or 100, if
Radiant
that
team's
doesn't
turn
push
to
them
pick.
over the threshold to get a direct invite, then SA as a region loses a spot. Unless No Ping go to the major and finish, top 4, top 3. So it's weird where these regions, it probably benefits NA the most when you consider EG, Quincy Crew, quite likely 1 and
10
2
seconds remaining.
twice in a row. That's a big help for the region, because then
5 seconds
It becomes
remaining.
Undying versus 4 Zoomers for 1 slot.
Exactly.
Whereas, compared to,
like
Dire
let's
team's
just
turn to
take
pick.
Eastern Europe here as an example. You may have Team Spirit, Na'Vi,
Radiant
VP
team's
all
turn
of these
to pick.
teams all matched up against each other, while VP is the only team moving forward.
Exactly. VP is currently in a position where that's pretty much likely how it's run. So for Europe fans, even if you're a fan of like Secret, it's good for the region that Secret is not doing well in the league, because it means more points go to teams
10
that haven't
seconds
locked up
remaining.
the TI invite yet. Really interesting system. Wonder to see how
5
it'll
seconds
change. But
remaining.
speaking of changes, the draft so far, Na'Vi, different flavor. I don't think I've seen them play Warlock, now with the Ench as well.
I was gonna say, do you like that support
Into
duo,
AA.
or- Yeah, double
Yeah.
heals into the
Dire
Ice
team's
Blast.
turn.
I mean, I can see both probably sure they're gonna get shut down the heals, but you're at least gonna have something to build your team if the Ice Blast wears off.
And they were definitely planning on this troll too.
Dire team's
Getting out the
turn to
tide in
ban.
the Raider. No Timber, so they go Axe on Na'Vi. But man,
That's not. I mean, Axe is one of the hard counters to troll. You can dunk him anytime you want.
That's
Battle
true.
Drops ain't
That's
gonna
true.
save you.
Radiant
but
team's
in the
turn to ban.
lane, not
Sure,
ideal.
the lane's not. But then again, as an Axe, are you playing the lane, or you're running behind towers, grabbing creeps and taking them?
What offlaner is happy with matching up against Troll in the
Well,
lane?
Troll's
it's not just
pretty
it's
miserable.
AA troll. We've seen the Axe throw into a cold feet enough to actually just stun a guy.
No, it's just
So,
seconds
in which
remaining.
case, aren't the ideal offlaners ones that would
5
cut the wave
seconds remaining.
rather than trying to continue to play into that Troll as much as possible?
Yeah. Back laning
Yeah.
probably the best bet. It's a good point. I like what you guys are saying. Don't play the lane. Just don't bother with him. Troll will free farm, of course, but you really can't do much about it at this point anyway.
And then on the other side, Na'Vi just full sustain with this Warlock plus Wraith King against very much a kill-heavy duo of Lion Mars. So
Dire team's turn to ban.
feels like both teams have addressed each other in side lanes very nicely. Now we're just left with our mids.
Yeah. I like Death Prophet a lot for Winstrike.
I was thinking that as well. That is the great answer to something like an Axe that's going to be holding that ult, looking to punish
10
Troll in the middle of a
seconds
team
remaining.
fight. Now, Axe is. He's not going to have anything to remove the silence early on. They don't have anything on the
5
team that's going to be able to
seconds
protect him. So if you can cover your Troll by silencing this lineup of
Yeah.
Na'Vi, Troll is going to be able to go ham in the team fight.
And it also deals pretty well with anything Iceberg likes to play, aka Spirit Heroes. I like that Na'Vi banned out Storm. You're not willing to take it first overall. You kinda, well, the heroes just kind of busted. Let's be real, especially for a team. I think Na'Vi and Winstrike have both first tooted exclusively when it was not banned. So I guess Na'Vi, since they are second pick, they kind of have to get rid of it.
Of course, Rebel also being known as a bit of a spirit specialist, particularly the Storm Spirit, which you could see as one of the first banned out heroes. His second most played, Templar Assassin, is still
10
available.
seconds remaining.
So, don't know if you have the room for that. You want something a bit more active, right?
5 seconds remaining.
Does he play much Invoker? I don't think he does.
He
right?
has played 10 games of Invoker.
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel Invoker would be really nice.
Yeah.
The Quasworks Invoker as well, just to sort of cover the Troll. Set him up.
Speed hero would not be bad at all. The two supports are pretty useless at hunting and finding kills, so
Yeah, it's not a bad game for a Spirit Festival. Cyclone is always good
Dire
against
team's turn to pick.
Axe.
Just was sort
Right. Actually bans away the Invoker.
okay. I guess likewise for Na'Vi against the Troll and the Mars. These are also heroes that don't want to play into Tornadoes, EMPs.
oh, I'm silly. I've had the pick order in my head reversed. I'm shocked actually that
10
Na'Vi first
seconds
picked Ench.
remaining.
That kind of, yeah. I don't know. We'll see how that works out for them.
5 seconds remaining.
Definitely going back to their roots before this roster was ever on the
Radiant
team.
team's turn to pick.
Days of
You're on.
Kuro and Puppy. Is that a Marana?
That is
That's
the
a mid-Marana.
mid-Marana.
Iceberg here.
Okay, that's weird. Notice that Na'Vi, despite being a mid-open, they ban away Brood. It's Rebel's one cheese hero he's got in his
10 seconds
up
remaining.
his sleeve.
Ember Spirit looks pretty all right here.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you're barely getting caught, right, man? Sure, the axe call you got to watch out for, but even that, you know, if you're quick on the reactions, you don't have anyone to bail you out, though. You don't have any sort of save support.
Yule's hero isn't bad either. You don't really have one. I guess the Mars could go, but it's quite nice against Axe, especially in a game like this to protect your troll.
I also like the
Do you feel like they're lacking damage on Navi's side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if you double down on that and go like DK, Kunkka, one of
Yeah.
the type mids?
DK is nice. It's a bit. Your team fight isn't
I prefer
ideal.
Kunkka. I think Kunkka's
Yeah,
really good.
exactly.
Kunkka's really nice.
Oh,
Mid Mars
man.
and off lane Centaur.
I-
Centaur's still available.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't mind that at all.
I
Yeah.
like this. Is a good draft.
Centaur is that's some value right there.
Yeah.
That's it's like
You know what's funny? I was gonna mention the synergy of Lion Mars, you know,
Yeah.
where you can sometimes Earth spike him up in the air, spear him, and he'll go over the wall. Don't have to worry about that anymore. Now it's a Lion Centaur duo.
yeah.
I mean, Navi's lineup very much seems like we just want to sort of survive. Vichu's going to get farm, and then hopefully he'll inevitably catch. It feels like Winstrike are just going to be able to do a whole lot more.
Yeah. Navi, honestly, I'll be honest, the draft makes them look lost. It's a collection of heroes, but you don't really see why these are picked. Iceberg, Marana, that's not something I game plan a week to set up for. I look at Winstrike and I think, damn, like you've got some incredible value.
Yeah.
Your heroes just look better on paper, and you're going to win your lanes.
Yeah,
all of them.
No, absolutely. I think, yeah, they're going to have the edge in all three of them.
Yeah.
With the way they finish it and switch it around.
One of the reasons that Navi and ourselves also maybe didn't expect a mid-Mars here is Rebel's only played it twice in his entire professional career, so not necessarily known for being a Mars player, so this will be an interesting test for him for sure. But if he does well, right, at Yule's against something like Marana,
Yeah.
be very
Yeah,
effective.
faith.
Okay,
Yeah, this
Winstrike,
is nice.
Winstrike, we both going Winstrike?
I'm not the better team, but Winstrike, they got the better draft by far here.
Hey, we said Winstrike very much draft based, and our analysts, they really like their draft, and I think Fog does too. We've got Moxie Fog as our casters.
Definitely looks like we've got some very tanky boys coming out from the side of Winstrike, and a little bit of a lack of damage coming out from the side of Navi, but I think you noticed the interesting trend, didn't you, Fog?
Yeah, Kyle's gonna want to hear this one too, probably. 13 games in a row now. Navi has not won a game without PA. They only won PA. 5 games in the last 13 were with PA. The last win that they did have was a PL on that 14th game. They only win with PA lately. And yeah, I really like Winstrike's draft. It covers all the boxes. I do see damage issues, and mid-Marana, I've seen a couple games where, like, I think Sumail may be playing it and stuff like that, but this one definitely looks weird.
This is not a trend that we've seen in any other area either, as far as I know. So I'm a little surprised why they picked that up for Iceberg, because they know something we don't, but...
Yeah, no, you can, like, you know, leaping out of the arena and all that good stuff can be great, but you're playing into a lot of disables. You know, you get hit by 1 Hex, 1 stun from the Lion. There's so much burst damage that's coming
30
out from the side of
seconds to
Winstrike, too. To see where it all comes together as well, because I'm like, okay, Fatal Bonds, what's their big, you know, big wombo combo with Fatal Bonds? It's like Starstorm. It's just like really the Marana until Axe gets a dagger if he's able to get caught, follow up for his damage. Yeah, it does look difficult, and Winstrike, again, coming out with a really nice draft, and they've been looking pretty damn solid, so this is definitely scary for Navi, as it's a very important game.
They've definitely been impressing me throughout their run here up the upper
This
bracket
ain't no snowball
of
fight.
Eastern Europe, so definitely interested in watching them here, and yeah, go grab up those runes. But, you know, this is something that it just feels like Winstrike, when they reach a certain point, they just like to run at you. They're a lot similar to like Team Spirit, which I'm also seeing, like in the way that they play. They reach a certain item timing, and then they just start running at you, and they don't stop. Whereas Navi, they need time. They need some time to kind of, you know, like you said, get that Blink Dagger on access to, you know, amp up these guys so they have enough damage to really make use of the Fatal Bonds.
Yeah, I'm really wondering where it's going to be with the big playmaking until that does come out. Maybe Iceberg is going to bring in some miraculous stuff on this Marana, and we'll see how this top lane ends up going, because they didn't actually block
Radiant's
out
courier has
camps.
been
So
killed.
Enchantress will have camps
That's
available if
animal
Yamich
cruelty
doesn't
in my
block
book.
those out, so Roger will be able to punish the lane quite a lot up top. But Centaur's fine up here. He loves laning versus Wraith King.
Well, they do manage to punish a little bit in the bottom lane. They were able to take out Pantherman's courier. So gonna have a little bit of difficulties with that. But yeah, otherwise, you know, one thing I do want to ask about is we've been seeing a lot of like position 4 heroes coming out that tend to be more tanky brawlers or like high base damage, and we're not quite seeing the same thing coming out from these teams here.
Yeah, it still works out when you have these range supports, but these just looks a little bit more weird because they're what we like to call is your very static laners. You have their Enchantress Warlock. They don't really move too much, not anymore at least. We used to see the Enchantress roaming with Enchant, but the Enchant duration is not long enough for you to make moves around the map, so block the camps. So we did, yeah, but she did exactly what we were supposed to do with the top, so Roger will have a bit of a tougher time actually securing V2's farm. Yeah, it's very interesting how they are setting up the lanes too, right? The Warlock bottom to heal up the Axe, so that tells me they want Ramses to have a good game. He needs to get Blink Dagger is kind of what I'm feeling when they do this lane setup. Just giving him a constant heal so he can get that solid farm. But he's only got 4 elastics right now. He is laning versus Troll AA. It's not an easy lane by any means, as he's want to fly could die here. Gotta be a little careful.
Trying a man fight over here with Pentiment. I think he's gonna be all right.
Okay.
There's no rotation. I think if they have a rotation, and then that becomes an issue. But yeah, no, I feel like a lot of the games that I'm casting for Na'Vi recently is a lot of it hinges on Ramses having a good lane. If Ramses has a good lane, it's going to open up the game a lot easier for the side of Na'Vi. They have that initiation, they've had pressure, but if he starts to fall behind at all, I feel like they struggle really badly.
They do, and it really does feel like a lot of the time it ends up being like the V2 show. Like I said, the 5 PA games that we did see from him, he completely took over the game just by himself. Sure, his team helped him get to that point, but it was mostly his top. V2, speaking of them,
they have the damage.
He's dead.
Cheshire can't be smiling after that one.
Love the skill build. Goes for the 2 points in the ledge rather than going for the retaliate lane. I think this is perfect. You're blocking the Enchantress's camps. Lion and Centaur very strong lane. Enchantress doesn't do too much when you don't have your creeps versus this.
I'm a bit concerned too with the Mirana pick for Iceberg here.
Yeah.
You know, usually when we see mid heroes coming out, we think of them, you know, having a lot of gank potential, a lot of damage, and Mirana just doesn't feel like that same sort of hero for me.
No, me either. He is getting a lot of pressure onto Rebel, and he can secure kind of both runes with the leap, so it's actually going a bit better than I thought it would go in the middle lane. Just constant harassment onto this Mars has added, but Rebel is going to be bringing himself some more regen, and he is actually going to get himself the water rune top. Nobody else ended up checking that one, so that's a bit of a fortunate situation for the Mars after he was getting hit a lot by Iceberg.
I mean, that's something that he could be very happy that they have these static laners like you talked about over on the side of Na'Vi. Is, you know, they're not going to be leaving. They're not going to be trying to go and secure those particular runes.
There's a creep.
Harass here.
We do have a creep on Roger now, so they're a lot stronger in top lane. When he is able to find these, he's going to put some decent amount of harassment, just a couple hits and an impetus. Cheshire Cat with those skeletons, yeah, they hurt.
Ooh,
and we're seeing stacks. I think that's the other most important thing I'm going to watch from Bobby is gotta stack Ancient, gotta stack Hardcamp, enable Ramses. He needs to get these stacks around the Ancients. He needs to get his Vanguard blink timing good. The triangle stacks in particular is the ones that they are setting up. The safer ones, because the other one can get stolen if they start to fall behind in the early game.
You definitely don't want Cheshire Cat having a better start than he already has. A little harassed down. Nice Earth Spy coming out from Yamich. We'll try to punish them for going a little bit hard here over on Cheshire Cat, but they're kind of making his way over here on the side. Just checking probably to see if the rune's still available. Grabbing a creep too. Wild Wing.
That's a good one.
There you go. There's your solution. If they block your camps, you just go to theirs.
Yep. We've seen teams now approaching with 3 sentry wards. They block like everything. I saw yesterday, like actually 3 sentry wards placed everywhere, double blocking camps too. So teams are trying to always block it from that edge. But yeah, he has this creep now, so that should give V2 easier farm. The toughness aura helps a lot too. +3 armor onto Wraith King on top of just the tornado if he uses it. This is a pretty solid creep actually up here.
How likely is this just going to evolve into something like a gentleman's agreement where, you know, we start to see Yamich moving, Roger moving, and then it's just, oh, Ramses, he wanted that curse so bad. But, you know, it's just going to end up being Cheshire Cat. He gets the Vanguard, he gets really, really tanky, and then they just kind of, you know, farm up here.
I think it's going to get to that point pretty soon, yeah. I think Yamich is going to get the map opened up for him, which I think it's actually quite good for Winstrike. Vanguard on Centaur, then he can look to gank mid to where Iceberg can suffer. If he's there with a Mars ult, he's just dead, as Ramses is very deep, and we are seeing the first rotation. Rebel, he wants to stop this Axe.
He's throwing his body at him over here, Pantomin, but Rebel, of course, like you said, he's got the arena. Turn right back around again, just pin him over to the wall, and easy peasy for Rebel.
I love when I see those moves, when you see people just cutting so aggressively, like we saw the other day with like the Morphling cutting off the Axe constantly. Love when you do see that shutdown. And it's gonna, he does, I think he actually did
Fortified
purchase
their
his Vanguard right
structures.
before he died. So he did get the Vitality boost finished, and we see these stacks. Always one is preparing his game for a good start.
Those are some
Radiant's
pretty
middle
big stacks,
tower
my
could use
goodness.
Those are nice.
And I don't think they have any idea. They don't have any sort of war over that. Usually Winstrike is like really on top of the vision game too. It's one thing I really admire about the team. But, you know, in this case, I'm sure they realize that they probably are making stacks, but they just don't have any real vision for it.
Yep, and we're gonna watch Ramses farm this juicy stack. Want any chance of them contesting it by any means. Let's give Troll a little bit of a free lane for the moment, but with Shadow, we're gonna heal to be a little bit safer.
Dynamic duo of Cheshire Cat and Yamich should be able to get the kill on Roger. They still got the center over here. Oh, Pantherman, though, is doing a little bit of scouting himself. Always
alone,
on a
though.
fly.
He may-
Is going to provide the backup. Yeah, I feel like maybe he was looking to see if there was a... Ooh. If there was a rune left, but they should be able to get this kill. It's going pretty deep. He's buying a lot of time, though, on the flip side of things. As Iceberg, you know, they pop the south, Phantoman. He's just going to walk into the base here, just waste as much time as possible. And eventually it is going to be Iceberg who gets the kill, but a lot of time chasing after a lowly ancient apparition.
Did he actually put the ward? Is that in the camp? I don't think it's just outside of the camp. But he did put a sentry down at least to...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Top lane, and the rotations coming out now.
Iceberg?
Featured opening up.
Oh,
The arrow
wait.
misses, though, slightly off the mark here from Iceberg. And that's going to be very costly for them.
He was stunned. Oopsie. That was his last leap too, so these charges, the restore time is quite long. So at 45 seconds till he will have one open for himself. That does keep him, that keeps him open to the window of Rebel actually being able to kill the Mirana. If he doesn't have leaps, he can just get killed quite easily. And no pressure on Warlord. We're having a game.
Top lane. Oh, that arrow hit him right on the mark. So Yamich will fall here. Cheshire Cat taking a lot of damage from the Starstorm. He will back off.
Okay.
He had to redeem himself there, Fug, you know.
Sure
First
did.
one was a little iffy, but he got his target.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. These early rotations definitely doing quite nice for him.
I'm not as afraid of a Mirana as I am of this Mars in the mid lane.
Oh, me neither. Definitely not. That's why we don't see it picked that often.
Yeah.
But maybe we are missing out on something new meta, right?
Yeah,
Some
no.
new meta stuff coming into play.
You love to see it.
As we see Duracho. He's just going to be going for his Battle Fury build, the usual. Seeing still Battle Furies Europe, Battle Furies in Eastern Europe. None in SDA in China really so much anymore. So it's just interesting to see these approaches as Ramses gets the call.
But Ramses does have to be careful here. Doesn't want the cold feet to proc. Does end up procking though in the top lane though. The aggression is on. Cheshire Cat forces the stop. Get off another impetus here from Roger, but should be absolutely fine. So Ramses is still hungry. He's still hunting here.
He gets a couple extra spins. It's always great versus Troll.
Why does he have a casual blade of alacrity there?
Manta. He's
We're
getting
going
prepared.
Manta. Oh my god, we're going Manta.
It's the meme. He needs to be the carry. They have a Mirana on their team.
I thought we were going to be concerned about the fact that they need to have initiation. I thought he would be going for that blink.
It looks like he wants to be the one to do
Right.
the damage.
He's got to be really careful here because Rimble's back and managed to miss the spear. But we'll get stunned up from this Lion. He's trying to just buy up a little bit more time. The cold feet is down over on Ramses. Rebel hitting. They'll go and they'll use Stampede, but they're not able to get the kill.
Ooh,
and Rebel says, my bad, because that spear missing was a pretty big deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a for sure kill if he does get the spear connection. Big mistake there from Rebel. He didn't use the God's Rebuke first. Something I see a lot of people always do is you rebuke first, gets the slow, then you got the guaranteed spear. A little bit of a slip up there from Rebel. And Ramses now, he can put more pressure onto bottom. Ratio kind of low HP, so he can boss and walk himself in. That's the solution, right? We're a little worried about Navi's damage, so him going his Manta Shard build, it will be able to at least maybe provide them that from the off lane.
It's necessary here. There's Icebergs. He's going to leap forward, pick up the regen rune. Life is good for this Mirana.
Yeah, all right. 2K advantage somehow for Navi off of these lane setups. Much more efficient plays. Yeah, we'll see that one again. Bottom, he
You
just...
get too excited.
Ooh, those hurt too. Those type of misses give so much map freedom, because now they don't have to worry about that Mars ult for some time. Iceberg just feels much better about himself on the Mirana, not getting any pressure. And Axe can continue to cut waves.
Radiant's bottom
And
tower's
he's got his Midas.
All right.
He's going very greedy this game as well.
Do you like that, though? Because I feel like Winstrike plays so fast. And granted, we just found out, you know, that Ramses is going to be going for mountain build. So they are going to be able to play a little bit faster, but is it too greedy greedy.
It might be too greedy, but he is seeing that the Battle Fury is queued up already on the troll already. He saw the Perseverance picked up, and V2, it's usually all about him for this team, so he does want to be that super carry potential. And he's got a mid-Mirana, so I do want him to be able to scale as big as possible. Don't really believe the mid-Mirana much later on. He's doing a great job here in the early game, though, 2-0.
You say this, and then all of a sudden we're gonna see that giant spring, and we're gonna be 60 minutes into the game. He's gonna have a giant Wraith King, running just like in that last lower game with the Ursa. Dota 2, just a silly game.
Dota 2, late game Dota games, pretty wild. So we're seeing another smoke Pantomime. He hit 6, Rebel, looking to just keep making the move onto the Axe. They're not looking to shut down V2 really at all, wanting to really just kill Ramses, as he is the most farmed hero in the game, so it is the most effective kill that they can go for.
They're gonna
Iceberg.
walk to Iceberg here first. Yeah, that is a very nice pickup here. Ice Blast comes in, and that's a dead Mirana.
And I feel like that's usually how I feel like we're going to see the Mirana. Like, that's how I feel like it's going to be in most of these situations. You just die in one stun every single time. So I'm really going to look to be impressed by Iceberg in this mid game if he's able to avoid these things. But there's so many stun controls that are coming out from Winstrike. So it's going to be hard for him.
So what is the build then that you want to see coming out of Iceberg? Because we talked about stun, so obviously, you know, something like a BKB probably is necessary, or even something like perhaps a Lincoln's.
I think he will need BKB at some point. He's going to go for his Yasha build, maybe go for a little bit of greed in between, but absolutely needs a BKB in this game. Otherwise, I don't know what he's going to provide in the fights. Maybe he'll just be a little bit of a soaker for that Wraith King. Stun off the mark.
Yeah, just a little bit off the spear right on target. And there's a big old finger, always on a fly will fall top. And this is the second time we've been forced to see that Stampede come out from Cheshire Cat just for his own self-preservation.
Worth it. He's living. He's perfect. Cheshire Cat, he's already got his hood in his Vanguard, the unkillable build, as we like to call it, and that is an early Battle Fury already done onto Dyrachyo. Doesn't have any stacks to work on, unfortunately, for him.
Bottom tower is under
Usually we do
attack.
see quite a bit of those. Roger, creep, he'll be able to scurry himself away from this scary troll.
At the loss of his brand new friend, though.
That's okay, it doesn't get much. Worthless.
Give your life for Roger. Easy peasy. All right.
We do have just a heavy farm approach. I've been seeing this a lot more from the Eastern European division. A lot more farm heavy games. 5-2, 13 minutes. We got a Midas on one guy. We got another guy going man to axe. It's full greed. It really is full greed by Na'Vi.
If you had told me this about 4 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, Falk and I were sitting in the back in the green room, and we were talking about how it feels like SA has become the new CIS in terms of just tempo.
Yep.
The way that they've been running at each other, and we're getting like a lot more slow, methodical farming sort of things coming out here from this Eastern European area here. But
I like this from Cheshire. Making the move mid. He's got max retaliate. He's super tanky. Tower just dying naturally to that retaliate, plus some hits from Dyrachyo. It's going to force the move from Na'Vi. They do have their ults. They have Chaotic Offering at the ready. But his Centaur has 1700 HP, and we did say, you know, big damage issues coming out for Na'Vi, so it's going to drop the tower without fighting.
and you immediately backed off. They had that vision. They knew that they couldn't stick together because otherwise always want to fly. So just going to toss down Yamich. Oh, okay. Just trying to stun up the creep, perhaps make sure he doesn't caught. But yeah, look at Iceberg, and then you look at Cheshire Cat here. What can she hope to really do?
She'll kill herself just from attacking him. Like she won't be able to kill him by herself. They'll need the axe for most of their damage from the moves. As Cheshire Cat, again, we've seen him do this so much on his Timbers, his Centaurs. Tower's getting pushed, he just shows up.
Stampede, Rebel, trying to go over there, be able to go and clip. We're onto the axle. Drop the chaotic offering, though. Arrow coming in, will land over onto Cheshire Cat, but they have the Hex, and they've got enough blast. Pantomime does fall. Ramses is ticking a bit low, but they turn their attention over to Cheshire Cat, and it takes a lot, but they do finally manage to kill him as Ramses does eventually pop over onto the back line. And this tower now easily belongs to Na'Vi. Yamich is already teleported out. What a bit awry for the side of Winstrike.
Yeah, the Mirana doing good damage. Great walk, great rock, good positioning coming out from Always Want to Fly there. Kind of counteract a bit of that instant explosion. If they get everything off right away onto the axe, he probably dies before he's able to just like get a call off and reset. So nice setup there from Na'Vi, but Dyrachyo goes top, able to claim this entire enemy jungle now here too, and he's still at the top of the board.
The prize is mine.
So is Vtoon, and Vtoon did show up bottom with his Midas. Now he's got the Relic. He's still getting very good timings, and they're not really pressuring him too much. It's a little bit of the concern.
Winning.
We say that, but at the same time, too, now we've got Racha. He's over in the Roche pit, right? So this is a lineup that comes online a little bit earlier than what Navi's got going on.
I like this move quite a bit. They know the Rock is down. That means no team fight available from Navi. The only way Navi takes those type of fights is with Rock. So yeah, free Roche gonna be taken. Mid tower will drop.
They know. They're scanning. I wonder if Ramsey's gonna try to get in there, but
I don't think they can.
yeah.
Roshan's down.
Right.
Okay.
Where he goes.
They do give up a little bit of a net worth advantage here. Navi is being very efficient with themselves. Bam, they do get a Roche out of it. And double Mantha.
I was about to say.
Woo.
Everybody's getting the Manta on this team.
It's been buffed. Why not? It's going to be quite strong. And Ramses, he's going to get a lot of damage. They're missing as they're setting up for... He
has no idea.
So alone up here.
He doesn't have any vision either. The slow comes out immediately, whirling axes. He's going to get called up here by Ramses, but the arrow going and landing over on a creep. As Nadracho running for his life. They do manage to take down the Aegis. You can see the rest of the side of Winstrike is moving their way over.
Rock is still
trying to protect him. Cheshire Cat looking for the opening. They can see always want to fly. They'll pin him over to the tree as Cheshire Cat gets the stomp up. That's enough damage coming out from Rebel, so they'll turn it around. They did lose the Aegis during this.
They did, yeah, Duracho was way too far up, but they're actually going to be able to potentially turn this into a tier 2, so maybe ends up not being as bad for them as it did look initially. But, I mean, Navi's really just playing full efficiency game. Everyone's just trying to farm as much as possible. Look at how they're split up. Axis farming jungle, Wraith King farming jungle, Mirana farming jungle, since they can't contest this.
I mean, you can see the difference. Like, yes, Duracho sitting at the top of the net worth on the side of Winstrike, but if you take a look, all 3 of the cores over here on the side of Navi.
He's got a blink.
He does have a blink. He's waiting for the rest of his team to show up, and there they are. The pin over here onto the wall. They'll just rip apart Iceberg. Ice Blast coming in, but won't be able to go land. Rock left behind as Duracho, spiraling axes. They'll follow up with that rock. Doesn't really seem to matter, though. It's a pretty big victory, I think, for the side of Winstrike, because they didn't get much. As Ramses, he taunts up here over on Cheshire Cat, but Cheshire Cat doesn't care.
They cannot waste rock like that this game. It's the only big source of team fight until Ramses' Blink Dagger. That was a very ambitious one as they kill it. Extra money for the troll. And they're continuing to kind of chase them forward here. Be a little bit careful. The Radiance Burn is starting to add up onto Duracho, and there is an axe call.
You get the call off. Rest of the team hot on the heels. They're trying to go and just stun them, but unfortunately a little bit off the mark here for Yamcha's V2's running right back in again with Ramses. A good spear, though. Will push him away. Pantherman is just hoping that they don't have the vision over here, so he is going to be able to teleport out. They did have the vision, and they weren't able to do anything about it, though.
I like this pickup from Always Wanna Fly. We kept talking about damage issues for Navi. He picks up a Veil on that Warlock, so that's going to be nice. And yeah, we do see the Golem killed by Duracho. You really can't waste those. I really think that Winstrike can take advantage of that right now. They have all their cooldowns kind of frequently up. This Mars ulti's always ready. He's got a DD, and he's about to have Blink Dagger, and he gets a Vambrace. So it's go time. I feel like Winstrike should just look for these fights now that Golem's down constantly, and they are starting to break that slight lead, at least in net worth that Navi had. It's starting to stable out, and Iceberg, I really hope he queues up BKB. Yes, okay, he does. So
he has to. He can't survive if he gets pinned at all. Or
and he's stunned and he's dead.
Yeah.
It's just they have so many different ways to just insta kill him. So we do have the Moonlight Shadow, Pantomime. Birds up arrow, off the mark.
A little bit off the mark. Looking forward though, follow up with Yamich. It looks like Pantomime still will fall most likely as Yamich also goes down. Turn back around. They'll have to use the Stampede. Cheshire Cat, I think Duracho wasn't sure if he was supposed to go in there or not because they are going to retreat now without their 2 supports. Still hunting. Ramsey's not quite able to get over there, but V2 with the start. Oh, there's the arena. As they'll trap them, they'll just try to chip down V2. That is going to be the reincarnation. Ramsey's, though, looking for the call. It's going to be able to draw some of the attention aside from his core. As V2 is hexed up. Duracho has to be careful. This thing so very low. The fatal bounce, he won't fall, as well as Cheshire Cat. Rebel also going down here. The arrow, yeah, I mentioned they haven't quite found him yet, but he is going to get found. Just get the double hit off around the stun, but he is going to pay for this with his life as he's just slowly burning to death. And V2 gets himself a double kill.
What a disaster. That's without Golem. They somehow just walk into them and fight. Rebel misses the spear in his ulti. Yamich misses the stun as well. They just completely whiff their spells as Navi runs over them here without Golem. I feel like that should not have really happened, but with big mistakes adding up there. Now 5k gold advantage for Navi.
I feel like every time we see Nacho up in that lane, something bad happens. Like, he's just a little bit too far ahead of the rest of the...
Top tower is under attack.
Rebel just, again, the spear before using Rebuke, and he had a DD, so it's a huge rebuke when you do see it come out, but yeah, he just whiffs the spear again. Now watch Yamich too, watch the Lion. Blinks in, whiffs the stun as well, and they're all bound, and this is where everyone else on Navi's just getting every single spell off, and yeah, Winstrike just missing quite a lot of them there, and V-Tune able to do what V-Tune does. Navi, even though we do like Winstrike's draft, they are missing quite a bit of spells, and Navi definitely proving that they are a bit of the better team here so far.
You can't make those kinds of mistakes
No,
against a
can't.
team like Navi, unfortunately. Like, you have to be really, like, spot on. And usually, you know, Winstrike has been looking fairly clean, but like you said, if you whiff a spear, if you whiff one of those, you know, earth spikes, it's going to come back to haunt you. Especially when you look at the play, the way that they divvied up that fight, too, with the axe, just getting the call off on 2 to drag away from V-Tune, allowing him to escape. Just very nicely played from Navi.
And this is all before Ramses even has Blink. This is just the Manta Shard now is online. This is the scary thing for the troll all throughout the game. Dunk. That's why you're seeing Duracho playing so careful, really with his battle trances and stuff like that. But huge window here for Navi, because that fight was done without Chaotic Offer. Now it's going to be up for this next one here too. And they're approaching it, those items that we were mentioning. At least they were until Iceberg decides, never mind, we just crushed the last fight, I'm not going Beak anymore, I'm going Diffusal and Mirage.
I mean, I like the Diffusal, but I also feel like, you know, you should probably have a backup plan.
If he's going to be able to play real far back behind the Wraith King and the Axe, if he's careful, the build will work, because he's going to do a lot of damage.
Is this just a situation where Iceberg has to be incredibly careful with his positioning?
Yeah. And they did just... They're probably feeling themselves after that last one, where it's just like, wow, we just crushed a fight without our only real big team fight ultimate. Definitely shaking up Winstrike quite a lot there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
9.5
attack.
or 4K damage over here on Iceberg. It's neck and neck here with that Wraith King, so...
Yeah, he's definitely making it work. 190 last hits too.
Not
And the
much
Fatal
good's
Bonds and the
happening
Veil
to
definitely
Radiant's
coming into
bottom
play
tower.
to amp up his
That's true.
damage.
Well, I guess it's one of those situations that if Mirana does get caught out, she just realizes, okay, it's I'm pretty much toast, right?
Yep.
So it doesn't make sense that you pick up the beats for those engagements. But speaking of engagements, Ramsey is leaping forward.
Oh my god.
Just blows up Cheshire Cat.
How many kills in a row have they gotten as well too? What is this?
I don't know what the streak is now.
4, 5, 6, 7. They've gotten so many kills in a row that Winstrike they're crumbling. They really are starting to crumble a lot versus Nave.
Racho can set.
Racho.
There's the Diffusal. The follow-up. Don't quite manage to land the arrow as Rebel's just trying to use this to initiate. But then they follow up here with the axe. He gets the call to go drop the golem. They want the Racho so bad here, but they're just not going to be able to get their hands on him for long enough. Ooh. We get a little bit of a pause there.
We do.
Yeah, they felt a little bit clumsy coming out from both sides here. Almost like always want to fly maybe just like a second or two behind with that dropping.
Yeah, they've shown they don't really need the golem in a couple of these fights anyway.
Look at this. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's just so far up. My god, Ram. The damage from the shard is crazy strong.
A little bit of the playback here. The Diffusal. Arrow not landing. They do manage to land the spear, which buys a bit more time, but Ramses, he was just right in a good position. But they're just able to escape at like the last second. Just a little bit weird positioning. It looks like they're ready to go again, though.
Any big timings for Winstrike? They're both going for Satanics, looks like on the 2/4s.
I like how you just see
Okay.
Axe run through, just the creeps just run right through. Always want to flies.
You golem.
He's just leaving it there, sir. I mean, I know Jins are supposed to serve their masters, but that's
Okay, 100 gold.
a bit questionable.
Radiant's top tower.
They don't care about the gold.
I guess.
Ramses,
V2.
Duracho, he is on the enemy background under.
Oh, the follow-up here from Ramses. Yamich going through their spike. Does manage to go land over onto V2 as a big ice blast comes in. Up they go and they land it over. Always want to fly. Ramses both crumbling as V2 trying to fight through here. It's not looking super great. He is going to go down the first time. Over on the backside, you can see Roger and Iceberg. They're trying to dish out some of this damage as they go, and they do manage to just drop that arena, but they don't catch anyone. Arrow tossed out, and Winstrike just backs off with that whiffed arena.
First big fight in a while. Winstrike's actually able to do something. They are able to keep the troll alive. First to that axe as soon as he pops battle trance. If Dunk isn't off, Ramsey does go down, and then Duracho has much more freedom inside the fight. Rebel, just to run away. Look like they're just blocking the Mirana hits. decent. And we are seeing why they're queuing up those Satanics. Because there is no way to prevent those heals going to be coming out from the side of Na'Vi. If they're able to get that off, then the dunk won't be as threatening.
Got a full pipe of insight completed now for Cheshire Cat. And my question to you, Fog, when we're looking at these fights, it feels like Roger and Iceberg are able to sit just so far back. How do they bridge that? Is this all on Rebel to go and get the jump, or is Cheshire Cat, like, how do they get in the back lines?
I think it has to be Cheshire Cat. I think Rebel is more about just getting it into the front and getting the spear on Axe or Wraith King so that he can protect Dyrachyo. Probably mostly on the Axe. It's going to be eyes on Cheshire Cats again on top of this Warlock and Enchantress. But they're going to be a lot tankier. That pipe, really strong pickup here for sure, because we are seeing a little bit of that magic damage was hurting a lot, right, from the Murano to Bond's Veil.
So the jump forward from Yams immediately, and they'll follow the vision. Got the dust. They're just going to pin him over here to the wall. Ramses is just toast. And they can't do anything on the side of Na'Vi except to watch them. Get a stun off over here on Cheshire Cat, but Dyrachyo is going right back in again. And they've got so much damage. The Stampede comes out. You can see the just standing his ground the entire time. The Cheshire Cat was trying to get onto the back line, but he wasn't quite able to do it. And they'll go right back. They'll be able to get the kill on Rival. Can they get anything more, though? Because they're really trying to fight. Okay, they'll follow up with Morocco in the back line. V2. He does pull Dyrachyo. He's still alive, though, but it's a triple kill now for Iceberg.
My God, I mean, Iceberg is actually yawning on this run.
I know, both of us were very confused when they picked this up for the draft, but he's making it work.
We most definitely are. I think I need to see that again. I want to see when the troll used his Satanic, because he didn't have it up toward the end. I didn't see what he dispelled off of himself, but I didn't see him very low beforehand when he did pop it. He popped it very early on in the fight. Ramses bought back but didn't have a TP, which looks scary, but yeah, Dyrachyo, I think he used his Satanic I think he may have just like clicked it early. I'm not sure what was going on there. Maybe because he was Fatal Bond, he wanted to purge it off, but let's see, because he used Satanic right there. And he's full HP. That is a very confusing Satanic usage.
I guess maybe he wanted to purge off the Fatal Bonds, like you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best thing I can think of right now.
But then for later on, he doesn't have it for when the fight does progress. As we are seeing the supports in the backline just wailing onto Cheshire Cat and Rebel. And yeah, look, no Satanic now. Perhaps if he had it there, he'd be able to actually turn something, but it's super early on. And they did reveal their ward there as well, so Navi's going to know that is in the area. V-Tune does die, and they have to use Ramsey's buyback, but they get the Aegis, and they're perfectly fine with all this.
Yeah, they gave Ramses the Aegis, I believe, too.
Yeah. He did buyback, so they want to make sure as we see, he's priority number one. That's how we see Winstrike playing. They have to just insta-kill the Axe so that the troll a lot safer, so he can pop Battle Trance. So Navi's also recognizing that. You know how important Ramses is going to be to counteract that troll. Rebel.
Rebel, finger comes out. The kill always want to fly. That arrow not going to quite connect here from Iceberg, as he's just going to take a little time in the middle of that arena and think about his life.
They give V2 the shard. Albert, he's going to be really tough to actually down now. With that little bit of evasion, it is going to be annoying for Dyrachyo to kind of handle that. He's starting to fall behind on this troll. This Wraith King really surpassed, and he's getting caught up even with the Murano. Dyrachyo, again, walking up the high ground.
Always here. Like, I feel like I mean, this time he's got Rebel behind him at least, right? He got some backup, but I feel like he's feeling very courageous most of the time, the way that he's just very, very far forward. The rest of his team, you know, it's hard for them to follow up.
Yeah, and Iceberg has made it through the harder stages. He's done excellent.
See you, Ramses. But Ramses sees you too, I guess. So they'll go, they'll pin him over. It doesn't matter. They're going to end up losing a little Yamish here. Dyrachyo now forced to run away as V-Tune is following up. Ramses looking to get back into position here. Try to use that God's Rebuke, trying to push back. Yules will buy a little bit more time as Iceberg leaping forward. Half the arrow, he's got to juke around. Nice jukes here from Dyrachyo. Big Ice Blast coming in hot. Won't be able to land over on several, but they have the BKB over on Iceberg now. V-Tune trying to fight again. It's going to be the reincarnation coming over on the back line. Look at these just bonds holding them into place over on the back lines, though. They went and they got off the arena. I don't think it's doing a whole heck of anything as they lose Dyrachyo. They'll lose Cheshire Cat, and now Rebel running for his life.
Again, he battle trance and Satanic at the same time in the fight. Right when they go up the high ground, he used both to try to keep himself alive, and then he doesn't have it for the second go when they're able to get on top. And now this lead is just becoming way too big for them to deal with. This can't do it all on his own.
They've got creeps on the bottom line here. Yamich has to be very careful. Does not want to get jumped here by Ramses.
And seeing this, of course, the Warlock Shard coming into play too. Everyone just staying super high HP efficiency. Damage.
That's all he can
Casual
do.
stun, but Troll's dead for 30. This is at least a Rax.
Toss an Ice Blast out. At the very least, try to put a little damage on them, but they don't seem to care at all. Navi's just taking their buildings. damage again. Just gonna throw out another ice back. Just blow up this Aegis, and he does manage to do it. Makes that little bit of ice blast still left on him here. Blinking out, and they'll take a tower and one of the racks.
Radiant's top tower deserves just as much help as bottom.
Honestly, I take back all the things I said about Iceberg maybe having a tough time. 9-2-9. He's actually he's doing so much. 18 of the 20 kill involvement.
Tower has looked
I believe he has one of the highest damage done in the game too. This Mirana is absolutely working. He made it through all the tough parts too without getting BKB, and he has it done. And he's gonna find himself a DD now too.
You know, Fog, Dota is one of those games where I love being proved wrong, though.
Oh, me too.
Like, it's one of those situations where we look at, we're like, what? Like, we have no idea. And then, you know, the pro players come in and they just show us exactly how their mind is working on this. And it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and Iceberg, when he is playing some of these, you know, when he's very comfortable on a hero, he can definitely stand out. We've seen him do it on some stranger ones, at least in the mid, like, you know, when he was only really one of the few players running, like, the Doom, and he was popping off all these times. This could be one of those specialties. Big
Ooh, okay, immediately the spear forward. BKB coming up from Ramsey's followed up, coming up from Iceberg. They'll drop down the arena. Tetracat, though, will fall, leap forward over on the back line to get another dunk off, and then get another. Yes, Pat, a triple kill now for Ramses. Duracho, he's gonna try. He is disarmed, though. He's not gonna be able to go and save himself. He's just chased down after B2. Does eventually fall.
He can't do anything.
Rebel can't do anything either. Look at this. He's crawling away. There's going to be the Ray Fire Blast. All the fins coming out. A couple clicks. And that's another kill for Ramses.
Duracho is just getting full controlled. Lack of BKB is definitely coming to play too. He gets diffused in the fight and then just gets slowed down a little bit from like an enchant or something. He just can't move. Can't do much of anything. Navi, excellent job of taking these fights to much better understanding of where they are supposed to hit. Yeah, all healed up now. Iceberg, 10-2-13. That could just be the game.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I mean, you have a couple of sports coming back up. You still have Tetracat alive, but it's looking pretty scary right now. You can see at this point the net worth has gone very over in favor of Navi. The jump forward, this is Yamich. He was trying to do anything. He cannot. Tetracat getting a double stomp up. It's nice. Followed up though here with the ice blast from Phantom. He's trying to get it off in time before B2 cuts him down. And look at this, he's just playing with this food at this point. The GG gets called. Navi will take game number 1.
And there he is.
Look at that, he's very focused, the tongue hanging out by the mouth, yeah.
He played really well. He actually did do an incredibly good job on this Mirana. Only the two times he got caught from the Mars ult from like the high ground, they did kill him right away. But besides that, Navi's positioning was good. And Winstrike with some very weird positioning and some weird...
You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in. Don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer. I'd rather be free. I'd rather be a leader. I'd rather be a queen. I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer. I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be a poser in a magazine. I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I was wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, ignoring all the signs, and if I lose the fight, I still rage against the I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay with cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. You can double down. I'll still be a proud haven for your love is never love. A river through your bluff, I will be enough, enough, enough. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay with cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. It's something you can never take, but it's not uncommon to forsake. Got a chronic urge to complicate. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. Feeling I have nothing left to hide. I'll say what you know it when it's right. Keep it simple now, living it before I die. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. My love wasn't ever a game. I lay with cards out before. All's fair in love and war. So I snuggle up close to the shell I'm living in. And if I let you in, another round begins. No, I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. But what if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? But what if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side.
Should I be scared? The feeling's so different now. You got me floating here, a feather in the air. Oh, but when the wind blows, will I tumble or sail away? Or would you have me stay? And what if I escape? I know
I'm spinning in a vicious cycle. I'm scared of doing something I'll regret. Maybe this is right, but I'm still staring at your silhouette. But what if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? But what if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side, by your side. I'm not afraid. We found something that'll never fade. We can be ourselves and figure out the rest along the way. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side. I need you by my side. I need you by my side. circling like vultures round my brain. Couldn't see the danger in your eyes. Draw me in, got me spinning now like water to a drain. You were perfect till I realized you hadn't shown your face. You sing a pretty song to drag my heart along. A siren serenade, you're ringing out your praise. Your love's a wreck and you know it's wrong. I was deaf to the ringing bells, warning me to break, deafened by the sirens' soothing lies. I can't leave, I am in too deep, been sinking for a while, prisoner to the same thing I despise, devoted to a fake.
Dire Team's turn to pick.
Sing a pretty song.
I think Winstrike can do much better than what they did in game 1.
I would agree, but I think Na'Vi just got the keys to success. I think the biggest problem they had in their series was activating this Roger and Ramses lane. Now they've
10
got
seconds
it.
remaining.
And Roger on the
Radio
end
team's turn to
did
ban.
a absurd amount of damage. I think it's very key that they once again first pick it.
He did end up doing the least on his team, but I concur.
What?
No, sure. No, Roger's
Dire team
independent
ban.
damage was very strong. He was, surprisingly though, he was
team
actually
ban.
overshadowed by Warlock in damage.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Fatal Bonds,
that
baby.
goes to show like how much Fatal
Yeah.
Bonds was doing, because Roger was chunking people down, and Warlock still somehow beat him out.
Fatal, I mean, there were a couple like 4-man Fatal Bonds, which means the Radiance is doing like double damage.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
And you throw on the Veil of Discord, amplifying the
seconds
Radiance
remaining.
damage, and also amplifying the
5 seconds
Fatal
remaining.
Bonds damage as well. It's a 2. I think it also amplifies spin. There's I was reading the wiki about spell damage amplification. There's a difference between outgoing spell damage amplification and incomings. Okay.
Yeah, you know, we see a lot of ET, a lot of mag being picked the other day. I think spell damage amp is something that's
Dire Team's turn to
been a
ban.
little forgotten, but definitely effective. Like, Warlock is busted just because of Fatal Bonds. Like, it's pickable for that spell alone. There's I think I'm talking with Insania about it a while back. Like, Rock is not your real ultimate. It's Fatal Bonds.
Yeah.
That's counts. Like that one
10
fight top, they
seconds
didn't have
remaining.
Rock, but they did have a 5-man Fatal Bond. That fight's over.
5
have
seconds
lost.
remaining.
And one thing that they did that we probably didn't expect is when they picked up the Warlock, they laned it with the Axe, which made that Troll Ancient Apparition lane that you were talking about was rather concerning. They found a way to be able to deal with that. And then Roger played top.
Maybe that's the solution. Just don't have Roger lane with Ramses. It didn't work out in the past. And even though they were ex-teammates, even back in their VP
Radio
days,
team's turn to
when they were
ban.
dominant, it was still Ramses in the safe lane, Roger in the off lane with Pasha.
Na'Vi gonna just go ahead and focus down some carries. Lifestealer, Wraith King, Sven.
10
All
seconds
big,
remaining.
pinky, beefy boys. What's the thought process on
5
these
seconds remaining.
two teams and their carry bands?
Na'Vi, I would say just getting rid of Winstrike comfort heroes and also better partners with a Phoenix, one of the more passive
Radio
5
team's
positions,
turn
assuming
to
it's a 5. Na'Vi, I'm looking at V2 and PL as a 4th pick. Looks real solid against this duo thus far. No Sven. I think that's why that ban was earmarked for last.
Dire Team's turn to pick.
Okay, now it's 4 Phoenix. Cheshire Cat special, perhaps?
I guess this hero, actually, interesting enough, it's not been doing very well in Eastern Europe. I think he's got about like a 30-something% win rate snap.
Yeah, Iceberg is certainly not feeling good about Winstrike's draft. He's like, I don't know
5
what this
seconds
is, but this
remaining.
is not good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
Something I've really appreciated about adjusting to life in Kyiv and amongst bluntness. Like Ukraine, if you ask somebody for feedback, they're gonna give you the God's honest truth, and you can even see that reflected in some of the webcam responses. You know, like you can just tell off the vibe. I can't read lips, but you know how they feel. It's very interesting from coming from like an American perspective. This idea of saying, you know, hey, how are you, is just a greeting. Like it just, oh, how are you? Oh, good. You? How are you? And it doesn't actually mean anything. You ask somebody that, you're gonna get an answer.
Radiant teams
And somebody, it's really interesting. I've had to change the way I introduce myself.
Dire
Navi,
team's turn to pick.
Gyrocopter, immediate
Dire
void
team.
level from Winstrike. Wow.
And of course, it's going to be an IO gyro. Because why not?
I don't know.
Was it you or BSJ who was a big fan of gyro versus Faceless
10
Void?
seconds remaining.
Wasn't me. I think Void owns Gyro.
Oh,
5
see, Brian
seconds
really likes it.
remaining.
Aghanim Scepter plus Satanic. You have,
Okay. I
well,
get,
especially with the
Radiant
IO,
team
it's
ban.
like you can actually deal with Chronosphere quite well.
I agree when you get to the late game. The trouble is, I think time dilation is super effective. You're always going to have 2 or 3 spells on cooldown. You don't really need Chrono to keep a Gyro isolated. And you avoid the damage.
10 seconds remaining.
Gyro's damage is very linear. No real
5
burst
seconds
threat.
remaining.
And you just leap it. He never really pressures you to kill you if you don't make a mistake.
I think he could be bursted down. A blink call into Gyro, Rocket Barrage, and Ultimate. It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think you can for most
Dire
part of the game,
team's
right?
turn
It's
to
not to the
ban.
later stages when he's got a couple of defensive items, stat items.
Maybe.
Yeah. By the way, are you guys set on this Phoenix being core? Because obviously those first 3 picks from Winstrike, all 3 of them have been played as a core in the past meta.
10 seconds remaining.
You guys set on
I mean,
Phoenix being the one.
does
seconds
Rebel play
remaining.
mid snap?
I'm going to assume it's Snap plus Faceless Void as a combo, but I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I didn't see it on his list. Check again for you though.
Winstrike are gonna have last pick for their mid. I still
Radiant
stand by
team's
Death
turn to
Prophet.
ban.
Maybe they just don't consider it value, but it's just being ignored, which blows my mind. Both games so far.
He has never played Snapfire mid as in a competitive match.
For Iceberg, Navi is looking at a
10
a
seconds
sustained
remaining.
stunt. I think DK looks great.
bizarre.
Yeah.
What
Or Conquer.
5 seconds
What's the
remaining.
Iceberg Doom? Yeah. Like Doom got buffed and he was
That's
playing
true.
it lows before.
Hey.
You pick Doom, you blink the Void every team
Yeah.
fight. You're gonna win every team fight against this Void.
It's a nasty Doom game to your point. You just remove the win condition from Winstrike.
Yeah, it just seems to be some of these just not played as much. Even though the heroes got buffed, I guess they just
Dire
don't feel
team's
it's
turn to
as
pick.
good in this state of Dota.
I liked the Mirana because I think when you have Ramses, you want to be able to give them more space, and someone's going to have to sacrifice a bit of their game.
They're going to go with this.
call.
I think this is really good. I'm surprised they've not been doing this more, but
Yeah.
this game, because I mean, you just look at what they've got at the moment. It's a lot of a supporting cast for the Void.
Yeah.
You get the jump on the Void in the team fight, and I think you're winning every team fight very easily if you're Navi.
I
Seconds
like it
remaining.
complements the way that they want to play the game too. It's a strength hero, high sustain,
5
and you
seconds
can
remaining.
naturally generate gold. Thus, Ramses is allowed to take more space. Iceberg's going to have to take less of it for this new Navi lineup to succeed. And so far, he's picked more offlane.
Choose your hero.
Ouch!
Not a fan.
Ow! Eesh. The laning phase is all right.
Yeah.
Got to have a hell of a game.
12 games of Batrider on record for Rebel. So another hero that he is not
What? Offlane
had an
Tusk.
extensive history for. And yeah, it's going to be a core Tusk. And Yamich is going to be playing the Phoenix instead.
I think this is going to be a rough one.
I look-
mean, in some ways, don't you want that kind of pointed burst damage against IO?
yeah, but
Or Doom rather has some armor problems.
the trouble is you've got like 4
10
sources
seconds
of
remaining.
damage, help, and a void as your carry. So
5
yeah, you've got
seconds remaining.
the Snapfire ult for Chronosphere, but that's your 5 position. My concern is you're not going to scale. and there's a Doom. You have now a full 4 Protect 1 against a Doom that will just, you know, to quote Black, I heard him say earlier during casting SEA, Doom is the same. If he dooms you, you're doomed. And that's going to be the problem for Winstrike. He's just a wordsmith. I really...
Wonderful analysis, as always. The So you would have preferred more of a semi-carry type mid?
Yeah.
TAs,
Death Prophet,
SFs,
man.
those kind of heroes. Death Prophet.
Good hero.
Okay.
Against all these strength heroes, the would have been great. Silence.
Well, given the fact that you both lean towards Winstrike's draft in game 1, Navi still won that game. I'm going to assume you guys are heavily on Navi's side this time around.
Yeah, this I think it'll be a very tough one. Yeah, we saw Iceberg pop off on Mirana. On the Doom, I think to be even more comfortable, and it just seems like an excellent Doom game.
Yeah, you can't see them, but I am wearing my glasses that provide 20/20 vision with hindsight, and based on this new perspective, Navi looked great. I think they'll take the game.
All right, well, we're going to hear more of his excellent analysis in hindsight from Kyle after this game too. But first, let's go ahead and check out our casters. We got Monty and Fogged ready to go.
Well, if game number 1 has taught me anything, Fogged, it's that you never know what's going to happen. We are seeing something a little bit unconventional. We're seeing the Tusk being put in that off-lane position, and we're seeing a very strong 4 Protect 1 sort of thing coming out from Winstrike. But, you know, you got to do some different things. You got to shake things up, but on the flip side, you got Iceberg on his Doom.
I think Rebel needs to pop off this game on the bat. I think he has the opportunity to versus a Doom as well, but if he starts making too many mistakes, Navi just farms so fast. Axe, we've seen how fast this hero can accelerate. It's unbelievable, especially with that Vanguard kind of build. Doom naturally farms ridiculously fast because of Devour. Io Gyro, we know how fast these two can farm. Void is not able to match that farming pace. So they got to get kills, and they got to get an advantage on. And it's, as you said, 4 Protect 1 on a Void with a last pick Doom. So now Doom has a clear, concrete target who he's dooming almost every single time in this game. It's going to be the Void, Dyrachyo. So Iceberg will likely just go for those. There's definitely save potential, you know, snowballs, some heals from the Phoenix and stuff like that. But Navi this time, overwhelming amounts of damage that will be coming out after Gyro gets like 1 or 2 items. Same thing from that Axe as we saw previously.
As I was gonna say, it feels a little bit like not like more reactionary coming out from Winstrike, for the fact that Doom got picked fairly later on. So
You did your best.
Are they switching up roles?
I don't know.
I think they are. Looks like Yamich is playing the core Phoenix and Cheshire Cat's playing support Tusk. So it's going to be an off-lane Phoenix, at least from itemization, right? The Bracer being picked up on Yamich soon, boots. So yeah, just switching the roles up a little bit.
I like this a bit better. I think this makes a little bit more sense in my mind, but I still am a bit concerned. Like I said, you know, we have a Doom, you've got a Doom target. Enemy number 1 is going to be the Faceless Void. And you got to get those jumps early here.
Oop, Dyrachyo. He walks in, so they know that there's a ward in one of the 2 spots now. It's either on that low ground or on the high ground since he does get hit from tower.
Pantoman's trying to do a little bit more scouting here too.
Some recon for sure coming in. And yeah, they're going to be able to get that D-ward. Iceberg, is he going to go for the deny of the D-ward? Oh, they double hit it. Nicely done, Winch. So yeah, the Phoenix, making it a core. Bit interesting, we don't see that too often. Io Gyro is actually quite good versus it. Overcharge with 2 targets hitting it, even if they're Fire Spirit, or, you know, the overcharge counteracts Fire Spirits almost entirely. 110 bonus attack speed later on. We do see those eggs coming out. Lots of burn, but...
Why do you think they picked it up so early, though? I guess, were they going to try to flex it a little more, trying to confuse people?
It's a hero they love, right? It was banned in the first 2, I believe, in the previous game, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's just something they're very comfortable with, and they want to make sure that he gets those levels so that he can enable the Void. So it's not just a Snapfire ult that can, you know, be thrown inside of that Chronosphere. They do want to have Yamich off to a good start. We'll see how it ends going. This time, Ramses, he doesn't have the benefit of the heals from a Warlock behind him. They won't have the benefit of the crazy Fatal Bonds and Veil that we did see Heaven Purge highlight in the last series, but we did see how much damage Ramses was able to do anyway. Just that crazy Vanguard man to build. And yeah, let's see how mid. I'm mostly just going to be looking at mid. I think it's everything really for the side of Winstrike, just how well Rebel is able to do. If he's able to shut down Iceberg, otherwise Iceberg is just going to devour.
I mean, this is kind of how it's supposed to play out in the beginning anyway, Doom kind of struggling just a little bit, but he's eventually going to become very strong, and these rotations are going to be so incredibly important.
Those stickies off. He's already got 8 stick charges for L2. Yeah, there's a lane where Rebel has to kind of get the kills, otherwise he will fall behind in last hits as well.
It's the situation we're also gonna... Are we gonna see people rotate to secure runes here for Rebel too? Especially for those action runes.
Yeah, I think Cheshire Cat with the boots absolutely should. They should be able to double check them. It should be a lot to get the help. But I mean, I say that the Roger actually can check pretty nicely either with the creep or himself. IO. Always want to fly. Probably going to be able to move around too. And the creep equilibrium being moved around a little bit here. Phoenix keeping the wave behind his tier 1 and tier 2. We see Gyro doing the same thing. V2 actually doing a better job of holding the wave though. He power denies a little bit harder. 5 denies. That's going to have this secondary wave. Holding it just a little bit longer, but also kind of pushing it forward. The Phoenix wave is also pushing. He wants to be able to make sure they meet.
And Pontaman is having a difficult time dealing with Roger. They did manage to go and block up the camp. Cookie hop forward. They have the damage though is a real question. It's looking pretty good here. One more hit should be able to do the trick, and Duracio will
Radiant's courier has been
Gets
killed.
Courier with that Centaur Conqueror.
Always
Got a
go
nice
after
kill.
the
Yeah, Blight's
courier.
so strong. Chantra's very low armor when you get hit by all that.
You did your
A little bit
best.
of a misstep there from Roger. He gets punished. But Duracio still is going to be suffering a little bit on the wave versus Ramses.
Dire's
I think
courier has been
the
killed.
important. Oh, they
okay.
Team's courier. What is going on?
Radiant's middle tower shouldn't have to take this
Look at the last
abuse.
hits already, though. Bats losing mid pretty hard. Something you can't. Bat has to have a good start in mid, or have stacks at least to rely on to enable himself to get that fast early time, so he can make the quicker moves around the map, so he can pressure the map better than the Doom.
I imagine that we kind of, you know, some stacking going on for him. It would be kind of absurd to not see it.
I think Cheshire Cats should definitely look to be stacking, like pull the wave behind and then stack the heart over and over again. We've seen people do that a lot for the Bat, so you can get good boots of travel timing, so you can pressure the side lanes.
Right. Are you at all concerned? Taking a look at the CS currently on this axe, he's having himself a very nice time here in this lane. Not really getting interrupted, and Ramses is really the person that you want to be putting that pressure down on.
Yeah, he's getting full free farm. Gyro is also getting full free farm with 0 pressure as well. Definitely. I feel like Winstrike has to have lanes kind of.
We're still trying to make some plays though over here on Ramses, and you managed to get some of that armor removed here thanks to that little shredder. But you see, Ramses has the creeps just following him here too, so definitely getting the better end of it, canceling out that salve, but.
Mid lane, Iceberg finds the Purge creep, so he can now dispel those stickies off of himself constantly. So now he's actually at no threat of dying, ever, in this lane, unless he makes some like big mistake.
Yeah,
there you go, boom. No more sticky for you, Rebel. Oh, that is kind of the hard counter, actually, to the Bat.
That's a big feels bad, man, for Rebel.
And it's a bit of an expensive spell, sure, 120, but look at the stick. You know, he's got the wands of plenty. He's going to be constantly getting these runes with the bottle, too, and damage is forced away from the wave. They're not able to apply any pressure really onto the Gyro. He's missed a couple last hits, but that's because he's dragging some creep waves. He does as a secondary wave coming soon too.
Just protecting the barriers over here. I don't want them to run directly into Ramses and let him get stuff.
They can't block the hard camp anymore. The way that Ramses is playing with Roger, they're just completely dominating the lane. So now they're just constantly under pressure. This Hellbear Smasher is going to be hitting them with plus 30 damage. Look at the Roger. He has no time walk.
They're just slowly clicking him down. The cookie coming out from Batman. Just buy a little time. We'll protect the Ratio. But
Towers on Ramses.
So bad.
Ramses.
I don't think. Oh. That was very close on Duracio. It does have himself a wand. Luckily, but yeah, the power and the strength coming out here in this bot lane against this Faceless Void and the Snapfire is...
And look at this, they're keeping him under the tower. Hard camp is available again for Roger when he backs up. Ramses has the Vanguard. Oh,
this is looking spooky now.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to keep applying that pressure onto Duracio under tower while top they keep forcing Yamich away.
What's Cheshire Cat been doing, I guess is my question, because he's not able to...
He's just pulled waves. That's all I've seen so far. He's literally just been pulling waves for his Phoenix to get levels. Because I don't think that they can really put too much pressure on this lane. Like, if you do commit to kill somebody, you're committing to kill the IO. But then Gyro can just turn and potentially kill 1 or 2 heroes. He's making the move bottom. I think this is the right move. Maybe a bit too late. Ramses, he's got Vanguard. They can't kill him, though. They can definitely just set up a kill onto him, but...
You need to.
He's already so big, and he's got a little bit away. They have the cookie.
Follow up with the... Yeah, they've got
Oh my
a
god,
cookie.
Cheshire Cat.
Cheshire Cat's sitting so low with that battle hunger on him, Huntaman. Trying to get off a couple more hits here, Duracio. But look at this. Okay, they do get some bashes off.
His HP, you know, with the Satyr Tormentor as well, he's at 20.4 HP per second. And Void misses 2 CS under tower trying to help. his team.
You've rotated another hero down here, and you haven't managed to do anything. Like, poor Phantoman, look at him. He's just a geriatric old lady on a lizard just trying to live her life, and Ramses is just interrupting all of that.
And now they're probably calling for Rebel. They're like, Bat, you need to come to help us with this Axe. He's getting out of control, but he's probably also like, yeah, I'm losing mid, though.
Yeah.
Iceberg with this Purge creep just dominated the matchup. You see he has 45 last hits. Let's look at net worth, how much worse it really is. The Doom is going to be so far ahead of
He's so much further.
almost double the Bat Rider's net worth rate at this point.
All right, well, Cookie hop forward. They don't need to use the lasso, luckily, here, so they're just going to burn Ramses down, but... Lane 2, Cheshire Cat taking a lot of damage from Iceberg, and he's so tanky. Snowball coming in hot here. Last bit more time, go right back to the wave, but these lanes are starting to get out of control.
They are,
for Na'Vi.
and they've got stacks already. Look at the Ancients and the hard camp. Roger's been doing that this whole time too. A 3k gold advantage that's going to be enabled even more. Iceberg is constantly devouring this game. Feels like it's going to be quite a big disaster. He doesn't even make it over.
No good.
Yeah, that's the clap.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, things are going from bad to worse here for Winstrike. How do you make a play here? So you had the rotation for Rebel, right? He was able to go slow down the Axe. Do we need to see him try to make a rotation to the top lane, or how do you alleviate this pressure? Because
they want to slow down the stacks. They're scanning in the area. They have a ward around there too. They're going to try, but he's still pretty healthy.
Roger is trying to trade a couple hits here with Roger. Roger, of course, having sprites. They will be able to go and perhaps... Oh, good call here from Ramses. Buys a bit more time, but he's getting some nice spins here. They have enough damage. Oh, he doesn't manage to quite get the dunk up. Ramses taking down here. Doom is going to come out over here onto Rebel. And they still haven't managed... Ramses are going to turn right back around. They're going to get the kill over on the bat. They should be able to get the kill on Cheshire Cat. This is a disaster for Winstrike.
Iceberg just comes up with Purge Creep, dispels sticky stack off for Ramses. They turn and I think this game might end very...
is under attack.
Like, they're gonna have to start doing some crazy combos, like Chrono and with Egg. It has to be perfect. Same thing with Snapfire to get some high priority kills. But look at all the stacks. There's stacks of plenty.
I don't think we've seen any stacks getting made over on the side of Winstrike either during this time. Yeah, they've all been to the side of Na'Vi.
That's a big blunder. I mean, Cheshire Cat, his early game was just pulling creep waves. I can't believe he didn't stack a single camp to enable Rebel.
He felt like he couldn't walk that far away, perhaps. Like he needed to just be in the vicinity for a save. Because, like you said, you know, it's a fairly strong lane against this Phoenix. And once you use that Invis dive once, it's on cooldown for quite a while.
But they were pulling the creeps behind the tower. Like he was already in the vicinity to stack the camps. I don't know. This forward position play is definitely not there from the Tusk, at least to enable his cores. What it seems like, and Void is now making the move top. So they've got Phoenix, Egg, they've got the Chrono. They have to get a big kill out of it. Otherwise, this game is going to spiral even more out of control. As Always Want to Fly is near V-Tune for some deals. They need to get this kill.
Trying to hold on to that Chrono Spear, just trying to burst out all the damage as possible. And they will be able to get the kill, so that's very much needed for the side of Winstrike.
Very nice. And don't even have to commit the ultis, which is really solid. And they're going to now be picking up a Veil on Yamich, so trying to amp up the damage, magic damage, which they do have a lot of. But you have to, now you have to pick so many fronts. So this literally Always Want to Fly. He's getting ready to start some stacks. Their mid tower starting to get siege from Roger, Iceberg. It's too much happening all this time. Navi's just getting way too efficiency out of them, while Ramses is also stacking. It's just stacks of plenty while they're also
stacks.
Time is money.
Ball's gonna go right back to the creep wave, but Na'Vi, they're already there. They're ready for it as they'll let Iceberg get the final hit, and Rebel really can't do anything.
My sprites.
And try here, he's got some of that damage, but again, chasing after Roger, goes in for the drag. Dispels all those sticky. Does have a decent amount of damage coming out from that Firefly, but the rest of the team now zooping in. They want to try to find this kill. They don't have any way to cancel out this TP. Roger's just allowed to teleport home, and this is a huge problem.
The Purge Creep is winning the game. Yes. At least winning that mid lane so hard. Look at this Doom's net worth continuing to be massive, almost double some of the other cores on the other side. And he's bailing on his teammates too, not being selfish whatsoever. And he has so much mana to work with. Finds a Faded Brooch, goes drums, 750 mana. He can purge anybody who does get caught from this bat, and that's another waste of it. So
I feel like he's got very little fear right now.
Even dispels a little stress off of himself as well. No minus armor affecting that Doom.
Just taking all these flame spirits right to the face. No worries. Ramses is having all the space in the world.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Free game for the Axe and the Doom. Gyro is getting slowed down a little bit, but that's just fine as he is getting farmed now. And he is going for a very aggressive build. Look at this. Diffusal we said on the rise. Gyrocopter going for a diffusal as well.
That is the way the things are trending. A bit of pinstring movement, though, coming out here from the side of Winstrike. Duracho. This is just Roger. I think open up time violation, the sweep forward, the shards, and they should be able to burst down. Okay. No, they go for the chronosphere. They do manage to find it, though. The fall Mortimer's kisses. Also with the Phoenix, they go over on the side.
Nice.
So they'll take down Roger, they'll take down Iceberg. Right, Bolt hoping maybe he can close the gap. They're not going to be able to, but now they have to be careful. They've used everything in their arsenal to get this one engagement.
Yeah, and Ramsey's still getting the space bottom. That sentry ward actually paying off dividends. The one to the left of the tower right there. It did see Iceberg just running in invisible, so they get the perfect setup, perfect chrono onto him. I don't think he knew, he had no idea that they really had any vision there. As dive forward V-Tune.
Out the fall down, they have the shards. Yeah, I always here though. Always want to fly. He's taking decent amount of damage. They'll go with the Warwick punch. They'll be able to take down B2. They'll take down Always Want to Fly. As now Roger's over by himself. He's trying, but they still have that lasso in place. So they'll drag back Enchantress and they'll kill Roger.
They're gonna get
they're going
the full
one by
tower.
one.
Yeah, Doom actually has to cancel one. The call down placed behind him hits absolutely nobody. He actually aimed it on his own tower, didn't hit any of the targets onto Winstrike. Big moves. They needed that so badly to have a fighting chance into this mid game.
Definitely making the right moves, like you said. Ramses, though, has not been slowed down at all. And look, still, the net worth is going in favor of this Doom. 7.2k, 7k over Ramses. And this is a trend that we've been seeing consistently throughout these two games, is that Na'Vi tends to, like, Winstrike will have one person sitting closer to the top. And look at that play here, yeah.
Yeah, look, Iceberg walks under the sentry. Immediate snowball from Cheshire Cat to set it all up. Really nicely done.
All that magic damage. I'm not sure they needed the egg there.
Yeah, I mean, he just threw it just in case he wanted to have a little money. Look at V2's call down. He throws it onto his tower. Wasn't able to turn before throwing it out. If he actually throws it behind him, you know, it probably won't save him, but they do get everybody a bit lower, so it does scare them from actually pushing and getting on that tower. But yeah, Winstrike getting themselves 2 towers, getting themselves back in the game a bit here with those big ults. And I think they do need to just continue to play around those ult timings rather than looking for little pickoffs and stuff like that. Just keep looking for plays around towers with just big chronos from Duracho.
Do you start to see, like, does Na'Vi decide that they want to start to get more aggressive now that they know the fact that all of these big teamfight ultis are down? Oh, so they go for their own smoke here. All right, interesting.
I think they're waiting on a couple item timings. They are very close to the diffusal on the gyro. Axe is about to have his manta. Do BKB. You know, if some to them, they'll take the fight, but forcing the issue too much might be a little bit of a question. Let Iceberg gets a perfect position for the Doom to just effectively remove a hero.
Well, the pressure is on now here from Winstrike as they are smoked up in the area. See, always fly. Constantly tied over here to B2, and as he should. It doesn't feel like they want a hard commit. They're just kind of scoping, seeing if they can get any sort of jump, it seems. Although they're going to walk over here. Don't have the vision.
Good.
Snowball immediately over on Always the fly. They just want to give it to the eye. They'll be able to do it. Now they're just going to follow up the call down. Nice hit though with that flame break. V-Tune, he needs some help, but he's not going to get his hands. Gets himself a double kill thanks to the Snapfire kisses.
They are really onto V2 in this game. 0-3 right now onto this gyrocopter, putting all the attention onto him. It does mean, as you said, you know, Ramses is getting free time of his life to get his farm. Some really good pressure moves coming out from Winstrike. That was just the one ulti, so now they will have Chronosphere available. They'll have Egg for the next one too. And a good deep aggressive vision down.
A lot of it too comes down. Look at the way that they're playing though. Like,
quick.
And that's one thing I keep coming back to this with Winstrike, is I love the way that they play with their vision.
Yes, their wards this game looking much better than last time for sure, with the way that they have set up this aggressive posture, at least to slow down the gyro, which is, hey, it's working. That really is.
I feel like they have to do this too, because Axe gets any sort of initiation. You see how fast they just absolutely explode.
Yeah, and move into the Roche. This is all before Na'Vi is hitting these timings. Iceberg has BKB, but walking into Chrono and Egg, this is a really nice heads up from Winstrike. Medallion, Solo Crest plus the tag team doesn't need to do this. Nice and free.
They have plenty of damage to kind of dish into that Chronosphere as well, as long as their positioning is good, right? Because the little Shredder...
Look at this.
Oh gosh, yeah, they go immediately over here onto Doom, and like we said, they've got the damage. Sunray, they didn't even need to use the Mortimer's Kisses there.
Navi now starting to crumble after a very good early start. Winstrike picking up their momentum.
Ramses, he's variable. I think is a little concerned though because he doesn't know where everyone else is. So they have to be careful. There's more people coming. Lasso though, the trap back immediately as they'll fall forward. Or they get off the egg. The call down. They able to take down the egg. It's a little bit too much out of position as Rebel now. First, like you can chasing him down. The shards buy them enough time with Cookie. They've got some bottling charges over on the Rebel. They're gonna try to keep him over the back line. So Duracho, he's left just high and dry here as he's trying. He gets a lot of these nice bashes in. Coming right back up again. Does not have that Chronosphere. Kisses. Oh, over onto the downside. B2 taking a lot of damage. He's actually going to fall. Cheshire Cat is forced to run away. Ramsey's putting him down off the Rebel, running from always want to fly the charts. Maddie gets the dunk off. Rebel, though, should be able to go and teleport out.
Navi strike back a little bit there. Ramsey's getting close to his Blink Dagger. And we definitely see the defusal being problematic for Duracho to deal with. A couple hits and he's just out of mana, so he can't time walk away. Luckily, he does have that Aegis that they were able to claim for. But yeah, they gotta watch out with these eggs. And as soon as that relocate is coming in, and he dropped the egg, but they just immediately, like, there's fire spirits. That means the Gyro and the IO can just focus fire it super kill it before anything does come out of it.
You can see itemizing here for all of that magic damage, like we just talked about. We've got the Hood of Defiance online. I'm sure we're gonna see that pipe very, very soon.
Yeah, and continuing to get these stacks, double stack around the Ancients again.
Dire's middle tower is
And their
under
initiation
attack.
is quite a lot harder on the side of Navi until they do have those blinks. So they've been stalling them. You know, they're playing that greed game, that farm game. As we see from those beautiful stacks. My God, that is a lot of stacks.
He takes care of his jungle, and I mean, that's a good support player. We've seen it in the past with, you know, some of these other top tier teams. Definitely something that Puppyo does as well.
Yeah. Yeah, much easier for him being able to stop.
Here.
Oh, wow. That is actually pretty
impressive.
huge. Yeah. Ramses, I think, has been more of those lane creeps himself. The blink is coming out for Ramses now. Now, Navi can actually make plays. They have a way to actually set up, while Winstrike, they had much easier access. The Bat Rider can just charge in, tunnel snowball, time walk from the void.
I mean, it definitely feels like it is all about it's the initiation on who for this next big. See Navi moving their way over to this mid lane. A couple of those illusions.
Damage almost has a Lotus Sword finished on the Phoenix. That'll be really nice to cover versus perhaps the Doom in particular, to at least reflect the Doom if it does come out.
For a minute that they were going to initiate over onto Iceberg there, but
No blink of bad. It's little. If they can't get like the instant grab, if he gets BKB off, it's very likely he survives inside of any type of initiation. So they have to be a little careful till they also have an instant way to get on him, like a time walk chrono.
right.
Like before, which completely caught him off guard, even though he had BKB.
Strike going for the invasion over here of the Dire jungle. You have the Lotus completed for Yamich like we talked about.
Continuing to play around their vision as well. Did see Duracho, you know, he's got his build ready, so status resist versus Doom. He's got that X finished up, pretty good timing. Doom now with Blink himself, so two forms of initiation on Navi.
That to me is very, very scary. It's really, you gotta, I mean, on the bright side, right?
Radiant's bottom tower
They've got
is
some very strong vision up, but the capabilities coming out from Navi now for the amount of damage that they can dish out and the way they can just blow up people is frankly terrifying.
Yeah, both sides do have good forms of counter initiation with the Axe Blink Dagger, also with the Phoenix just being able to sit back and he can always just run right into whoever does get initiated on. You do have a lot of ways to counteract.
Be a bit careful here, sitting on the low ground, and there are quite a few heroes on the side of Navi.
Ooh, Winstrike, they're bringing down here. There's a lot of vision though. Navi does have a bit of a vision advantage down here. You see Ramses with their own ward walking away, and they force them out of their jungle. As V-Tune, he is approaching his BKB. So lots of magic damage coming out from Winstrike, as we said. Physical damage is actually kind of limited. Heroes do get their BKB off pre-chrono. There's a high chance that the cores will not die on the side of Navi.
Gotta get as much damage out as possible for those BKBs to pop.
Yeah.
That is for sure. And I mean, they have plenty of damage. I think the other thing too, very important, is that the Phoenix egg has to be perfect. It can't be in the middle of everyone. It's such an integral part of their draft here. These axe illusions, oh my god.
Cuts like the whole wave. Nearly kills the catapult, even himself too. Does he have the shot yet? There we go. All right, Ramses is online. Gyrocopter about to be online. Doom is ready to fight too. Winstrike, any big items for themselves coming out? Cheshire, I guess he's gonna have his Blink Dagger in a moment if they allow him to farm. Yeah, I mean, he took his CS. He's 50 gold short.
I'm curious as to, is it just like a position thing, or that they're comfortable on certain hero that they chose to mix it up like this?
I think that must be the case, right? It must be that Yamit is just the more comfortable Phoenix player, so they just gave it to him.
It's a little odd that they opted this game to kind of switch things up, but
Off the mark with the jump bottom, they will waste to relocate. But the efficiency game, as we said, Na'Vi, they farm faster. When the downtime is happening and Winstrike's not utilizing those ultimates, you see what starts to happen from this super efficient Gyro and Doom is they're ready to battle. Got these big items here coming out. Everything is synergizing at the same time. No vision just yet, but they'll see Rebel for a second here.
is that the target that they want? Those questions.
Sure
Forward from Ramses, we get those illusions, the spins, the dunk. Down will go Batrider, and the rest of the side of Winstrike now. Feeling a little scared. Cheshire Cat hiding in the tree line. Sentiment, you can see Duracho, he's waiting. He's looking for the perfect chronosphere. He's got to be fast though, and they have to dish out enough damage.
They see Iceberg, get the punch. But
There it is.
He gets BKB off.
He does, and they got the little shredder though. They've got enough damage. I think the IO trying to keep him alive. He's not going to be able to do it with the Essence Ring. And then Duracho looking for more opening. He is stunned up though in the middle of everyone. The Lotus Orb on him is going to be a time walk away. BKB over on Peach has been popped. Those kisses getting dropped, trying to burst him. This egg is looking nice. They save down Roger. Duracho, he wants more though. He wants to get his hands over here onto Ramses. Is he going to be able to do it though is the question. No, they've got the blade. Duracho still looking, but maybe he could have caught that IO, but the IO already tethered away over to B2.
Power deserves just as much
Very
help as
nice.
bottom.
Again, Fish and winning these initiations. They had the blink on the Tusk as well. Missed combo by a little bit. He was able to get the BKB off, but they caught him separated from his team quite far away. Nice hit there from Winstrike as they do have to utilize all their ults, and everyone is
Somebody
respawning.
better help Dyer's
It looked
middle tower.
great, but now they do have to watch out how far they push forward. Duracho's gonna bail.
You saw how much damage came from Ramses just by himself, right? They have to be so careful with their position.
Yeah, if he catches literally anybody, they're just dead. As Iceberg, he's smoked up. Oh, Rebel.
Yeah, the immediate jump, the Doom. There is no one here that's going to be able to help, I don't think. Whereas, see, they're trying to go in for the relocate. They want to make sure you can have a part of this.
He just gave it as well. He's gonna snowball himself for a moment, but
I doubt he gets out of this. No, tries to play this little keep left here with the sharks, but if you have a blink dagger, it doesn't
Dyer's
matter.
middle tower isn't going to last long.
and Rams still on the prowl. Also do have that ward on the high ground, so he is looking for a grab. But I think they just spot him for a second. I think they did. Yeah, their ward did clear off for a second. They're able to get away on the Phoenix for a moment. Line is drawn. His whole team is going to the Phoenix.
They don't have their ultis
They
though
do
here.
not.
Can they do anything?
That ult's no. And Rebel, he died now twice in a row. His farm is just completely disappearing.
Yeah.
His blink dagger is very important also for him to get those instant grabs pre-BKB, and it's getting stalled out more and more here from these jumps and the deaths.
I mean, he's been working on the blink dagger for how long now?
It's been
a couple minutes.
long. Yeah.
Find the farm. He's just getting jumped on half time.
Do still have this very good deep aggressive ward that has not actually been checked from the side of Na'Vi. They have the sentry, but they didn't bring a courier or anything out it just yet. Now I'm seeing a courier over here. Is Roger gonna do?
No chronosphere available.
Yeah.
See, they're smoked up on the side of Winstrike. Cheshire Cat leading the charge. See, Axe Solutions are doing a bit of scouting. They're gonna just cut the wave here. So, never mind.
It really is, because it kind of reveals smoke too, because you see the lane positioning. Axe Illusion cutting bottom, Axe Illusion cutting mid.
Yeah. Planting. Walrus punch forward. They found B-Tune, and there's no IO here to save him at this point. Oh,
He does get it off. He preemptively started that relocate. That was
my God.
quick.
Very nicely done here. The Duracho, these seems mad. Winstrike, they gotta get something out of this fight here after using that chronosphere. But the fights, they're so split up. Rebel over on the side. They're gonna see if they can burst down over here onto Roger. It's not looking like they're gonna be able to do it. As Rebel, we talked, he's just gonna fall. Duracho now is taking so much damage with these BKBs being popped. Looking for a bash. Does manage to get one over here onto B. They get the egg off as well, so they'll stun up several. And this sudden ray trying to do enough snowball comes in. They do manage to take down B to Pathama though. It's just being chased down on the back lines by Ramses. Cheshire Cat now running for his, and the call comes off though from Ramsey. They'll get another dunk, and now Duracho trying to get away, but they're so fast. Look at Iceberg. He's the body blocks too. He wants Ramses to be able to just grab their hands up. They even manage to go get the Doom. It does get reflected back, but they do not care.
And Ramsey, just move over V-Tune. I'm the carry now. V-Tune 1-5, Ramsey's 7-1 this game. He is getting all the freedom to be able to pop up. They're focusing the gyro so much in the fights that it does allow him to do that. And Rebel constantly just getting exploded before he can really do anything on this Batrider. Time and time again, Na'Vi, great target prioritization in these fights. 11k gold lead now, getting out of hand.
That save was so clutch coming out from Always One Fly. I couldn't even see him on the screen at the time.
It's preemptive.
Perfect. Another initiation though over here. Always One Fly is getting targeted pretty hard. They do the BKB over the bat. They're just going to try to burst down the aisle. Manage to get the kill on Always One Fly. These long range are coming in hot. Can they do a ditch to Ramsey's in time though? It's not looking like they can now. Cat trying to run away. Impetus, it's doing so much. Ramsey just a little bit off the mark. Still get the kill on Cheshire Cat as they're hunting over on the back lines. They just want to get rid of Rebel here, and they're not going to quite find it. Buyback coming in now from the top. They go and interrupt anybody's teleports. No, they can't.
They cannot. The chorus just trickle away, and Cheshire Cat does end up wasting that one there.
Nice hard strike here coming out over on the team, but they just need more.
Yeah, it really just feels like it is Void versus the world. Yamich is doing some good positioning here with his shard with the Sunray out of the egg, but it just feels like this is too much for Duracho to handle it. There's no Doom, but everyone else is...
They've got Ramsey's nervous here, Roger.
There's no BKB on Rebel.
Down over into the pet. Cheshire Cat using the snowball. He's gonna drag in his Void. Following it over to Roger, and he's just in the middle of everything. This is looking stupid for Duracho. He's got the BKB though. Gonna start chasing after them. They've got the Sunray, they've got the egg. Egg will pop over on the back lines.
Chrono 3.
They just can't get their hands on people. They're looking for the Chronosphere. Ramsey's though with a good call. They've got the plenty of damage. The snowball coming in hot. They want to try to take down Ramsey. They realize that he has a major source of damage. He does manage to get the kill on Cheshire Cat though. Ford going down. Cookie Hab going forward. But they're BKB. Oh, there it is. There's the Chronosphere. Do they have the damage though is the question, Fog.
It doesn't look like it.
Especially not with an IO tethering up, having an essence ring, keeping him alive. Duracho's just going to fall.
Oh, and they're gonna tip him for sure for that one.
Yeah.
Now, no Chrono for 2 minutes. Roche is available. Ramses is dead, but it doesn't matter. They can just go into that Roche with every single ult down. Duracho has a big slip up there towards the end. They have to commit so much for Ramses. They chased him for so long to kill this Axe. And the egg, Na'Vi just reset away from it. As soon as egg was done, they all peel to the right side away from that egg. Great fight execution.
Was that a mistake for the fact of Winstrike just to keep chasing after them so far away from the egg?
Yeah, I think they started to panic because they had Chronos up. Duracho maybe making the call, hey, you know, I'm gonna go for this here, but they're all dead. They'd already lost so much out of it as in Yamich. Yeah, we see that egg coming out, but yeah, everyone from Na'Vi is perfectly engaging with their BKBs.
I think at the last second, the spin coming out from Ramses is actually enough to take out Cheshire Cat here.
Yeah, the axe spin is no joke as they left the cheese in the pit, by the way.
Yeah, there's a spin.
Yeah, they didn't pick up the cheese. And yeah, we've seen again and again over in the Diffusal Blade, right?
Yes.
V-Tune, look at Duracho. He gets his Chrono, he's got a little bit of mana to work with. He actually uses most of it, but then the little bit he does after time, 1 or 2 hits, he's got no mana. And yeah, there's still a cheese. The cheese is in the pit. They forgot.
The smiles. They're happy about this.
They have an IO and they left the cheese in the pit. That's a very unfortunate thing for Na'Vi, but they're cruising. They really are on cruise control now at this point.
Until it comes back, the fatal cheese that ends up being the linchpin, you know? No. Yeah, no, they're feeling very strong here. Look at this. Yamich is forced to use the Icarus dive just to run away. Cheshire Cat doesn't want anything to do with Ramses, and I can't say I blame him because this Axe is a big, scary man.
Now, even finding himself a nice Cloak of Flames to boot, make tankier, more damage coming out from his illusions too, and he goes for cutting and all that good stuff. Nope, it's just bringing the Satanic, so they're gonna leave the cheese.
Oh boy, this is looking like a very dead Panther.
Tower is under attack.
And Rebel's cutting creeps now behind near the tier 3, as he doesn't really feel like he can go anywhere else on the map. Na'Vi, yeah, full control now.
Those are some desperation plays at this point.
Yeah, Duracho starting to do the spin in circles thing as the Void. I think he's accepting the fate pretty soon on this Faceless Void.
I mean, what they need to get perfect Chronosphere, and they need to land every single, you know, spell into it, honestly, because otherwise, and this IO, you know, Always Want to Fly has been very the entire time.
Yeah, they'll get the lasso maybe for a free kill onto Roger here.
But it's Roger.
But it's just Roger.
And it's a lasso. I mean, it's not a super high cooldown, but
still is They're trying to get any type of kill,
Yeah.
it seems like. I mean, they did do a good job of at least killing V2 this game, but V2's still able to get decent farm, and the other two that really have gotten out of control on the side of Na'Vi is, no, the cheese again, they're just not going to get.
Guys,
Don't look at it.
please.
Just don't even look at it. The fondue.
Oh boy.
I would say that getting that perch creep early, though, especially against the bat in the mid lane,
Yeah.
absolutely game winning right there. And that they just, is it they just weren't sure how to? I'm trying to think which thread really just started to get pulled, right? Because you have this Axe, he's doing a decent time in the bottom lane. They weren't able to really slow him down, and then all of a sudden, like they left Ramses alone completely.
And where
And the
was
stacks.
Stacks? Where was Winstrike Stacks to enable Batrider? Like Rebel,
Not
yeah,
much
sure,
good
his
happening
lane
to
went
Radiant's
rough because of that
bottom
perch creep,
tower.
but they needed to have a thing to back him out, like bail him out in case that happens. You always have it. Look at this. It's like 20-something stacks for Na'Vi, 3 or 4 from Winstrike.
Radiant's bottom tower
You need to be able to enable like Batrider a little bit better than that if you want to have a bit of a better time. And you're seeing it reflect. Like look at Rebel's farm, and he just keeps getting popped over and over again.
You get nothing.
Indeed, you're not going to be able to teleport out. And they have too much damage.
There's no commits. No ultimate have to be used. That's just a blink and a cost. They will have to do available for the next few pickoffs whenever they do go.
I'm still smoked up on the side of Na'Vi. They're looking to see anything else that they can possibly grab. Obviously, Nacho would be their #1 target.
Might be able to find him.
Might be able
They-
to. They're over there immediately. The call, the doom. This is one dead faceless void.
They may call it off of that one. It's already
No
so
buyback.
far out of control. Yeah. 70 second. See what Ramses wants to do. He's like, ooh, look at
He's
that.
just running him into the base. He's feeling himself
Yeah, look
here.
at that. He's taunting them. He really-
Yeah, he is. I'm surprised he hasn't dropped items yet. Yeah, he played in NA for a little while.
Radiant's bottom
That's true.
barracks are under attack.
It's SA more that drops the items, right? Used to be.
I mean, I know a guy who was dropping items in another game, but
Yeah, Na'Vi.
Past is
Radiant's bottom
past.
barracks have fallen.
I'm liking this Ramses axe. I really think this axe and Enchantress is something that they might have to get something in for future games versus Na'Vi, because it's really with them, like Kyle was mentioning. They have had some games where they've struggled a bit on these two, but
Radiant
we're
structures are
definitely
fortified.
seeing this huge power between. I mean, Axe also just looking like a super strong hero when he did this build.
I think he got away with too much.
He did.
I think they need some way to slow him,
did
shut him down,
Radiant's
and they
tower
weren't
go?
able to find it. And, laning stayed so well for him that eventually just snowballed into the mid game where he was able to do whatever he wanted, hit whatever he wanted. There was still winning engagements without him, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, and I mean the one time they did, to be honest, they tried to go for him with 2 heroes, with the Tusk and the Bat, and they both died as he farmed. Yeah, that was. I mean, there's a lot of different disasters from Winstrike, at least from that early game. They had some decent shots in the mid game, but Na'Vi taking fights in good locations too, because most of these fights that Winstrike was taking was on their side of the map, where they had to use their big ultimates, and then they look and they're like, oh my god, all our creep waves are pushed in. We have to deal with creep waves push, and we can't actually get any advantage with these big ultimates rather than taking objectives.
The efficiency was a huge problem. And I also, I know the lane was really difficult because you do have this Phoenix. Like, what can you really do against a Gyro and an Eye? But I didn't feel the presence of the Tusk at all.
I did not.
And we didn't see stacks even. Like, we were talking about, and we're like, oh, well, Cheshire Cat, I'm sure he's making these stacks for Rabel because he's having difficulty. But he just kind of stayed top the whole time, and did try to get the waves a little bit. But I feel he could have been more present, I guess, or feel that more.
No, I mean, absolutely. You have to be able to, like, that's Dota right now. You have to have stacks at least for one of your 2 things. Void can't farm him this game, so then you stack for your Batrider. But yeah, to enable Rebel. As we said, he's been suffering so much this game, and look at how much gold that they've gotten in comparison. That's the Void farming the neutrals in Ancient too. So it's I'm sure Batriders are way lower in comparison to that one, but
Not yet. We can.
not yet. As now, there we go.
Thank you.
Bat's only farmed 1,400 of those neutrals.
Yeah, he is not able to do it. These illusions are just so problematic by themselves. They can just keep doing this and just slowly starve Winstrike out of their own jungle. They can't make any moves.
Yeah, they're so farmed. It's like a triple scaling core on Na'Vi versus a single core versus a Doom as a refresher. So 2 rounds of the Dooms as well will be.
That vision game has totally side of Winstrike. They have no idea where people are, whereas Na'Vi have been able to place, nice wards, really finding out a lot of information. Like, they can see now, 4 of these heroes have moved their way into their jungle.
Yeah, I mean,
It's on that bottom ward.
it's cruise control really for Na'Vi now. I don't think they're really feeling any
Radiant's
threat, they
courier
shouldn't
just got
either. Like,
killed.
even if people get caught in chrono at this point now, they're not going to rely. I mean, maybe some of them will, but the gyrocopter, if he gets any type of heal from the aisle, he's not going to go down. Did they pick up the cheese yet? No, they did not. It's still in the pit.
It's aging finely,
aging.
you know? And you can market it as the finest cheese aged in the Roton pit for 5 minutes. Too bad it doesn't gain more potent. Imagine if that was a thing. You just left it there and it gained potent as you went.
Hide it somewhere in the map.
Radiant's
Certain
middle
locations
barracks
would
are
make it
under
each
attack.
better.
Treasure hunt.
Not the water either, too. You know, what if the cheese was in the water? That would ruin it.
Yeah, it would. That'd be really nasty cheese.
Look what they're doing to
Winstrike,
Radiant's middle
the final guy.
All right, here we
We're
go.
trying for this humongous wraparound here.
Oh,
V2.
they're gonna go up to the high ground though. V2. Oh,
They're
they're
there.
down.
It's a brand new war. He's going to run right into them. He knows how strong he is and how tanky he is.
That defeats will come into play.
Rebel.
Now over on the back line, so they mentioned to grab Iceberg. So can they push him down? That's not the back line, but there it is. We were talking about. Just waiting though. Goes right back in. The Doom gets placed over on the face. Point Ramsey's just running over these back line. Gets some good spin. That's a double kill. Thrasco does fall over here. Roger, and they're just falling apart here. Look at this Scotsman running for his life. They've already lost Yavich. There, ends up in there. It's the GG.
They knew the smoke coming. Obviously, as soon as they see the war place down to it's fresh part, they get the relocate even to save the Doom instantly. Always want to fight clutch relocates and preemptive ones too, especially the one that we saw around the Ancient Pit. He started that relocate before they even started the jump and that Chronosphere. Navi, much better executed game plan. Winstrike.
Maybe I'm a little young, but you don't know what I've become. Can't you see it in my face? But even living in disguise, but you can see the killer in my eyes. I've got a look you can't escape. 僕の未来は誰にもわからない皆は僕をダメなやつと思う鏡を見 What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else. And if I fall behind, I'd rather be a dreamer. I'd rather be free. I'd rather be a leader. I'd rather be a queen. I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer. I'd rather be clean. I'd rather be a poser in a magazine. I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be